The Bored A-hole here. Thank you for joining me as always. I don't know when this video is going to go live, but maybe you're seeing the vlog stuff. I don't know. Again, it will either make sense now or it won't. There is another camera over there, and now I feel like it's someone's broken into my house. I'm worried. It's making me feel a little bit intimidated, but that's why I have Gerald, the fitness mascot, to protect me. At the moment, I can't go to the gym because UK here is locked down. But I did have an incident on the last day, or maybe the one before last day, before they all shut us in our houses, where I suffered a gym accident. I don't want to get into it now, but you know, I went through this thing and I was like, man, this kind of stuff must be happening to everyone. And I don't see everybody talking about it. And really, I would like to have somebody to talk about it. So you know what, I'm going to make it into a video, and that's where I can get my release. So yep, here it is, 10 horrendous things that we've all done in the gym. Unfortunately, by accident. Number 10 is dropping a weight on your foot, and this ties into my experience. What sucks more than dropping a weight on your foot? I think if somebody presented to me the two scenarios, Simon, you have to drop a weight on your foot, or you're going to break up with your girlfriend you've been with for 20 years, I'd be like, I may pick that one because the short-term pain is so much worse. The long-term pain, when I break up with my partner, I'll be like crying in the corner, eating Cheetos, going, oh, by myself. But the short-term pain of the weight is 100% worse. 100% worse. So when you first break up with someone, we don't talk about that anymore. Point is, I was in the gym and I was putting away a 5-kilogram plate. This is how embarrassing this is. 5 kilograms. It wasn't like a 20 or a 30. I didn't drop another person onto my foot. I dropped a 5-kilogram plate. But the way I did it, I had very thin shoes on because I'm a moron. Never do that. And it whammed right into my big toe, which I was going to show, but I just it's too disgusting. I don't have the confidence to do it, so I'm not. And the best thing about it is when it hits, you're in a place where there's other people, right? So you can't just go, oh, flipping Nora, flubbing mashed potatoes. You have to just like go, and you have to style it out. So you hobble over to where the weight has now rolled, and you picked it up, and you slowly put it back on the rack. But in your head, you just want to cry. You just want to ring your mother and say, Mom, can you give me a hug? Your mother's like, grow up, you're 49. For the record, I'm not 49. Sometimes I joke about my age on these videos and it becomes a thing. I'm not 49, I'm in my mid-30s. Number 9 is using the equipment wrong. Now, we're all quick to laugh and go, he doesn't know what he's doing, because he gets on the bicep curl and he's just smashing himself on the face. Ow! But the only way you can learn sometimes, you can go on the internet, but sometimes it's trial by fire. And I remember many a time going to the gym when I was a beginner, a noob, whatever you want to call it, and you look at a piece of equipment and it may as well be someone talking to you in Russian. You're like, I don't know what's going on. But you feel like because you have set up stall at this piece of equipment, you can't just now leave, because then people will know you don't know what you're doing. So you get on it and you just guess. You guess. It makes me laugh every single time. I saw a guy a long time ago now, but on the lat pull down machine, and he clearly didn't have a clue. So he reached up and he grabbed it with one arm, and he was kind of doing this rowing action. I was like, maybe he thinks he's working on the mill. Maybe he thinks he's about to produce some bread. I wanted to go up to him, but I'm always a little bit skeptical just due to past experiences when I have tried to say, oh, buddy, pal, I don't think you're doing that right. They go, oh, screw you, you piece of trash. I'm like, that's the last time I'm talking to you. Also, you're a very strange person. But you'll see it. Once you're looking out for it, you will see the new person. You will see them just with this utterly bewildered look on their face. And of course, it sucks. You just want the ground to swallow you up, but it is also very entertaining. Number 8 is lifting too much. How many times have you gone down? The bench press is always the one, but you load up the bench press too much because you're thinking, man, I'm having a great session. I'm feeling strong. I've taken my pre-workout. I have all the energy in the world. And then you go to do a rep and you get to about here and you're like, I can't do it. So you go, and you push real hard. You go, and you push really hard. And you may get to about 50%, but then you realize you're in trouble. And then weight and gravity starts to do its thing. And eventually you're like, I'm going to die. And then you either have to call for help. Only happened to me once in the gym, which was actually on a leg press. And that's because the leg press broke mid-rep, so I wasn't able to get it back on. And I had music blaring in my ears. So for all I know, the noise coming out of my mouth was just blah, blah, as I just asked for help. But yeah, on the bench press, you either have to hope somebody notices you and comes over to help you, or you have to do that thing where you roll it down your body. I'm sure it's just as bad for a girl, but I don't have the experience. Over your penis, and you're like, ah, and then put it on the floor. And that sucks because everybody sees you doing it. What can you do? Once you have made that decision, it's either going to work out very well or you're going to be a gym bro jabroni. Number 7 is the opposite, not lifting enough. Now, this doesn't put your life in danger, so it's the far better one to the path to go down, and why you should always start light and build up, build up, build up. But it's like it's usually with dumbbells. You think, oh, I'm going to grab a couple of 20s. And you go to do incline press and you just start going like this. Like, man, I could do this all day. And then because we're all lazy deep down, we think, well, I could just put these back and start a new set. But you go, no, I'll just do a high rep set. And you get to like rep number 52 and you're like, I really shouldn't have. I've wasted an entire set. Now, no one will ever know this because you can just, again, you can style this one out so easily. You just finish it, you put them back, and you grab the ones that you want. But I've done it before, and then I'm embarrassed. I'm like, you're at the gym where you're meant to be being proactive and, you know, getting stuff done, and you were too lazy to stop doing a set mid-set. I don't deserve to be let in. Number 6 is overspotting. Now, it's nobody's fault. If you're new to the gym, again, a lot of these are beginner because, again, we have to learn trial by fire. Somebody asked you to give you a spot. We've talked about it here. It's the best thing ever. You're like, oh my gosh, I have been welcomed into the gym because you become a wizard. I have been welcomed into the gym fraternity to such a degree that now somebody wants to spot me. And you get a pipe out. You're like, I'm not down the men's club or whatever it's called, social club. What? Nobody wants to go down there. And you're so excited. And you walk over to this thing. Bench is always the way because it's the easiest one to do, or it's the one you need the most usually time. And the person starts going, so I want to do 6 reps. Okay, 6 reps again. And they get to 6, and if they go to 7, you're like, oh my gosh, we're one extra. You just dive over the guy, you grab the bar, and you just hoist it up. And then they're looking at you like, did you just do that? You have just completely wasted this incredible set I was going to do. You overspot. You overspot because you do not know how much effort they want. Now, really, all you should ever do is 2 fingers and just get the person over the hump, right? There is this weird invisible line in lifting weights where if you can get past that, no matter how fatigued you are, 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to get back to a good position where you can rack the thing. I remember doing it. It's just like, you may as well put it on your back and go, whoop, and try and help them out. You don't mean to. You're good intentioned. You're absolutely going to piss that person off, and I love it. Number 5 is wearing a top that's just a little bit too tight. You see it all the time. And don't pretend you haven't done it. You absolutely have, because when you go to Gap, you always buy a small or a medium, and sometimes you even get obsessed with the baby Gap clothes, even though you shouldn't be in there at all. It is not for you. But I totally get it. I have this blue top. I think it's from My Protein of all things. It's one of those like weird meshy materials where it's like, oh, I wick sweat away from you. Like, we're talking about wick sweat. But that's what it says it does. But I like how it feels, right? It's really nice. I remember going to the gym once. It was my girlfriend at the time who went, you should not be wearing that. It is suffocating you. It's that you're not wearing the top. The top is wearing you. It was like cutting off my circulation, but I decided that I liked it. And then when you do there's 2 bad things. You spy yourself in the mirror and you're like, yeah, that looks stupid. But also, unless you are super duper lean, all of a sudden you're like a massive fat guy. Because even if you have a flat stomach, when you're pulling some material across it like you're trying to strangle somebody, it looks like it's more elongated than it would be otherwise. It's not a bad thing. It's not, but I will always be chuckling away, mostly because I've done it. Number 4 is when you get your timings wrong, right? You go to the gym and it's 1 p.m., let's say, and you think, man, I've got to be out of here at 2:20 because I got that meeting. And then you get to 10 past 2 and you're like, I've done nothing. I have done absolutely nothing because either you've done too many sets or you've taken too much time resting. I can't tell you the time. I shouldn't say this in case somebody's watching, but I can't tell you how many times I have been late. I have been late to a meeting or something very important because I just want to get my gym session done first. You have to prioritize your life, and I'm going to assume that most of the time that won't be the most important thing. But in your head, you're there. You don't want to shortchange yourself, and you don't want to sacrifice it. You think, if I leave now, I will be doing myself a disservice. It can be really hard. Like, how the hell can you not get a gym session done in an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes? You really should be able to, but the mind does odd things. It really does. It's the same as well when you try and take a rest set, right? You're going to rest for this amount of time, and you're convinced you're going to be able to do the next set, and you get to 2 reps. You're like, nope, I wasn't recovered enough. And that kind of ties into lifting weights and bodybuilding and gymming in general. It's all trial and error, but it does suck when it happens. Number 3 is getting gout. Obviously, I doubt you're going to get gout from going to the gym, and you're certainly not going to get it by accident. But when I was writing these notes, I write notes and I try and put down a few little things so I remind myself, my autocorrect changed to get gout, and I laughed so much, I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it in. Number 3, you get gout. Number 2 is when you leave knee wraps on too long. It's another thing where, again, we're trying to be all smash the gym, and yet we get a little bit lazy. But you're doing squats, you're doing leg press, you do whatever, and you wrap up your knees because you're trying to protect yourself. And that does cut off the circulation a little bit. I mean, you shouldn't go too crazy, but it can happen. And rather than unwrap and wrap, I've already done it a couple of times, you think, screw it, you know what? I'm just going to keep them wrapped up. I cannot be bothered to reach down to my own leg and go foop and foop. I will just leave it on there. Then you start to walk around the gym to do your next set, and you're like, oh no, I have actually cut off the blood circulation to my feet. My legs are going numb, and if I now try and squat something, I'm probably going to explode. And sometimes you don't realize that until you are squatting, and it is just a terrible situation. You look like an absolute flubbing moron because you do like 1.5 and then you just put it back. That's not a squat. Also, you cannot go below parallel or even too parallel because your leg is just expanding like a balloon. I find it very, very amusing. And yeah, once would have been bad enough. It happened to me twice. And number one, an oldie but a goodie, is sparking conversation. You see someone in the gym, you just want to say hi, you don't want to have a massive chat, and then poof, it explodes into a 15-minute blown back and forth, and you're like, great, I've ruined my entire gym, I've ruined my rest sets, I've ruined everything, my body is now going to actively take away my muscle, and you're just trying to be nice. I can't do it, maybe you're a better person than I, but I can't go to someone, I don't want to talk to you anymore, I need to lift weights. But really deep down, both of you should know this. And because both of you should know this, if you are true gym goers, each of you is probably going, I don't want to have this conversation anymore. To the point that if someone brought it up, the other person would be like, oh, thank goodness. And yet we just go round and round and round because we just want to be polite. Maybe it's more of a British thing. I shouldn't be that way. I really, really shouldn't. Don't need to do this anymore. But it is a massive accident and it sucks. Nobody goes to the gym to have a conversation. You should be nice and you should certainly be affable where you can. But you want to be able to lift weights and you want to be able to lift weights in the best possible way. And when you're having a dialogue, that ain't going to happen. So boom, there you go. 10 horrendous things that happen in the gym, often by accident. And yes, I'm guilty of every single one, apart from getting gout, but who knows what this year's going to hold. It's been a dumpster fire in these 7 days so far. Now, like the video, share the video, subscribe. Please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Hit the bell, ding, ding, so you know when other videos are going live. Boom! Look at that. There's another video right there. I implore you to click it. Otherwise, I'm going to reach through the screen and I'm going to give you a kiss because I always want to be nice. All my Twitter and Instagram, Patreon and merchandise is in the description. I won't just say it out loud because you want to click stuff. It's all there. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time and I'll see you soon.